Hello?
Devon Alexander. Alexander the Great. How are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
Excellent. For those of you tuning in, of course, we are joined by Devon Alexander. If you follow him on Twitter, The Real Devon A, make sure you follow him. Who will be fighting on December 13th against Amir Khan at the MGM in Las Vegas, his first Las Vegas fight. So I know that's very exciting and something he's looking forward to, as well as the fans who will be on hand and those watching from TV. How are you feeling as we are now within 4 weeks until your fight at the MGM?
Well, like they say, the anticipation grows strong, when you got something exciting going on and when you know that you got this big fight coming up, the big fight of your life, your first time fighting in Las Vegas, the fight capital of the world. So I feel great. I'm at a point in my career where I can, just shoot to the stars. So I'm just excited, taking it all in.
As you prepare for this fight, it's well been documented. I'm sure you talked about it ad nauseum. The fight was supposed to happen before. When the original fight fell apart previously after, I think it was introduced at the Mayweather-Canelo fight when you guys were brought out together, what was the aftermath like finding out that fight was not going to happen after that, but prior to finding out you were going to fight Sean Porter?
Well, it's hard when you start fighting for a fight and, the fight get canceled or you fight a different fighter, because we was in camp getting ready to fight Amir Khan, so we had to change up sparring partner, change up strategies and all that. So it was a bit difficult, but this is boxing. Things happen all the time in boxing. A fighter might get hurt. Fighter might want the biggest fight out there, so they chose not to fight, which is what Khan did. But all in all, it's inevitable, and we'll be fighting December 13th.
Excellent.
Have you been anxious to get this fight? Did you really think it was going to happen after the way you pulled out the first time?
Well, I had my doubts. But I heard a cue something. But I had my doubts. But Amir Khan, I know he's a good fighter, and he wants to do whatever's going to get him to the top. And he knows, if he was to beat me, that could be a chance. So he sees this as a way to show people that he can compete at the top level. And I understand the business, but we're fighting now. We this fight been brewing for years. We were supposed to fight when I was 140, before 147 now. So, and it's high stakes right now. High stakes. Either one of us could be the next Mayweather fighter. Mayweather opponent. So, I'm excited.
Do you really think they would choose you if you won the fight, as a Mayweather opponent?
Oh, it just depends. It will have to depend on a lot of things, It will have to depend on a lot of things. I'm not going to say it won't happen, but it'll be a tougher time getting it done than I say with, Amir Khan, because of his following over in the UK. So, like I said, I understand the business. I understand what goes on, what's happening, and it'll be a tougher time to make or to have a tougher argument if it was to be me and Mayweather, So, I understand.
Okay.
Just to piggyback up. I'm sorry, Ryan, I don't mean to interrupt you, but just to piggyback on Ryan's question about that, on the undercard of your fight, we have Keith Thurman, who is making noise and coming up in the division, and we've seen previously that sometimes the undercard, these cards are set up to make an inevitable fight. Do you think a fight, without looking past the fight, obviously, that you're about to engage in, do you think it would be would it be inevitable that you would get Thurman saved before Mayweather?
I mean, I could say that. I can see As long as if it's two fighters who continue to win, that's what all fighters at 147 will continue to win, continue to prove themselves, continue to be at the top level. It's inevitable that we have to fight. That the fans are going to be acting for it. TV's going to act for it. So it's inevitable. But I could see me and Keith Thurman fighting after me and Amir Khan fight. I could see that fight happening next year. To get a Floyd fight. Then, I beat Keith Thurman, it'll make more sense to fight Floyd. But me personally, I'm not in a rush to fight Floyd, to be honest. That's what everybody throws Floyd Mayweather names around. I want to fight, but I'm 27 years old. I'm continuing to learn. I'm still, in my prime, so I'm not in a rush. If I do fight Floyd, hooray. But if not, like she says, a lot of fighters out here that's notable and capable of putting me at another level. So Keith Thurman would be an excellent opponent.
Going back to this being your first fight in Vegas, it's almost hard to believe. You've had like 6 world title fights. You fought like some of the toughest competition in the world. And this is most people get to Vegas way before they've accomplished what you've accomplished.
Right. I mean, every time from when I was with Don King in my earlier career to now, I was always scheduled to have a professional fight in Vegas, and I always fell through. So, every time it never failed. And I always said, if whenever it's meant for me to fight in Vegas, then I will fight in Vegas. Because that's where, in my opinion, that's where all fighters want to fight at. That's where all fighters want to be on that big screen, see their face on the big screen. And just to see that is like, exciting and a good feeling to know your hard work is, finally paying off and you getting the recognition that you want. So, I'm excited. This is a good opportunity for me.
Going back to Amir Khan, do you feel he's done anything at 147 to give the people the impression that he should be the favorite to beat somebody that's actually in the top 10?
Well, this is the thing. It's about boxing is who the powers to be want to put their money behind, who they want to push, and who can make them money at the same time. If Amir Khan didn't have the following that he has over there, I don't think he would have. They would have been say, okay, he's not what we thought he was. They would have been washed their hands with him and treat him like any other fighter over in the States. Who got 3 losses and been knocked out twice. They would treat him like, okay, he just ain't got a chin. He won't make it to the top. So it's about the powers, who the powers behind and who they want to be at a certain position at that time. And I think that's the thing with Amir Khan. He got a little power behind him with the UK over there backing him, and it's transpiring over here. And in my opinion, he's very, very overrated. Very, he's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. He's a good fighter. But who has he beat? But like I said, it's the power. If the power say, okay, this is who we're gonna push, that's what they're gonna push.
So to piggyback on that, just Khan's skills as a fighter, it's been a very discussed that Khan is chinny, and then, sometimes people hear things about fighter and they run with it without ever having fought themselves or even really taking the time to analyze a fighter's skills. Do you agree with that notion that Khan is chinny?
Yeah, I will, but also whoever fight him cannot go in there thinking, okay, I'm gonna knock him out. You can't think that. Either them knockouts came because people caught him at the right time, the right shot, he was open for, and that's what happened. He is chinny. I saw Collazo hurt him one round when they fought. And we all know Collazo ain't too much of a big puncher. But he got up out of it and started back, his offense with Collazo. So I would say that he is in some aspects, but it has to be the right punch.
Now that he's working with Virgil Hunter, they've got him a lot more cautious now. Like if he's in trouble, he'll do things that'll increase his chances of surviving. Whereas before he would just kind of go balls to the wall and just kind of backfired on him. Do you make any special plans for that?
Well, to be honest, Virgil's an excellent trainer, man. Him and my coach are good friends. Been knowing Virgil for a long time, but me personally, I don't think he's changed anything with Khan. He might get him thinking a lot more than he would normally do, but for his style-wise, it's nothing different. So, him preparing to get hurt or, whatever. I mean, I don't know. If he hurt, there's nothing he can do, especially if it's a small fighter in there and they ain't going to let him get tied up or, hands is free. What are you going to do? You hurt, so I don't.
So you don't think he can tie you up?
No, not as a fighter only get tied up if you want to get tied up. There's always a way out of it.
Okay. How do you want to end the fight? Do you think the judges would give you a decision?
Of course, as long as it's convincing, and it's my people are have my show my top performers. They looking for that one performance to say wow, and I think this is one of the ones that's gonna be it. It's gonna be a clear-cut winner. I could see me getting a good shot in and hurting them, and possibly taking them out in the later rounds. So it's so many scenarios, and I'm practicing for all scenarios. If he's going to run, if he's going to stand there, if he's going to do whatever, I'm practicing for all that. So it's going to be a good fight, though.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was going to say, given his style, fast hands, counterpuncher, which is kind of plays in what you do. Is it difficult to make a entertaining fight when you have that kind of style mesh?
Well, of course, I don't plan on I don't plan on running or boxing this fight. I just plan on, using his aggression, against him. He just jumps in, those punches, jumps out. Khan don't have no upper, body movement. If he's gonna have some defense, he's gonna put his hands up and try to block the shot. Other than that, he's not gonna, counterpunch. His counterpunch is coming off when he blocks punches. He comes right back. So it's just going to be a cakewalk in my opinion, because my coach got a tremendous game plan. Khan hasn't fought a skilled elite level fighter. Lamar Peterson was a skilled level boxer, but I don't call Lamar Peterson a boxer. I call him, he has skill and experience, and what he's doing in the ring. So. But Khan hasn't fought a southpaw, slick, and who know how to fight just as well. So
what about
that's going to be trouble for him.
Zab
is he's past. He's past. His time. It's about that time, but Zab was still in the fight. He was still there, but I think, Khan was just too overwhelming for him, and that's what happened. But you get a live live guy in his prime, who's determined not to lose, who's just as fast, you make for a good fight.
And speaking of that, weren't you and him close to fighting once?
We were a few times, a couple times, but it just always fell through. We were supposed to fight here at home, but it always just fell through. So a couple of times, but like I always say, if I didn't fight him at this time, it wasn't meant for me to fight him.
Right.
If I did,
Yeah.
So I'm a man who believes that.
That's cool. Because it's too late to fight him now. It's kind of like how the Klitschko's
Definitely.
Yeah, how Klitschko's refused to fight Holyfield. Even though they
right.
could have taken the money for it, but they said no. They just had too much respect for the game for that.
Yeah, and they didn't want to just do that, right?
Well, just to kind of, we're deep in discussing, fight strategies and dissecting Khan and what you plan on bringing. Let me ask you just a fun question. You're not a flashy guy like that. You just go to the ring and handle business. If you could have anybody ring walk you to the ring for this fight, it is a big fight. It is in Vegas. If you could pick anybody to ring walk you down to the ring, who would you take with you?
That's a good question. That's a real good question. I don't know, because it would probably be I like the old school rap. It'd probably be Tupac if he was still living, But if you're talking about nowadays, say Jay-Z or Nas, just depends. But Tupac is my number one that I would wish he can walk me out. That would get the crowd into it, and everybody knows what Pac brings.
Right. We see a lot of props and things, and, a lot of ring walks have taken on this kind of WWE feel. You don't plan on anybody wearing, tell you are Alexander the Great. You don't plan on anybody wearing, togas and fig leaves or nothing like that to bring you down to the ring, do you?
Well, you'll see if you'll see fight night. So, I'm always, like you said, I'm a straightforward type of business guy, but this is entertainment. People want to see entertainment. So, yeah, throw some entertainment in there every once in a while, and you'll see fight night.
All right. Ryan, do you have any more follow-up questions for Devon?
No, but I want to see you win because I'm honestly not a fan of Amir Khan, and if you knocked him out, that'd be pretty great.
Well, I appreciate that. We working hard to go hard each and every round, so we're gonna be right there, and I'm pretty sure they're sleeping on my power, which is good because the power will be there.
Before we wrap you up, just to ask you a little bit about the undercard. I know you focused on your fight. Of course, we have Keith Thurman versus Bunju on the undercard, and we no longer have Jermell Charlo versus Demetrius Andrade on the card. If the Andrade-Charlo fight had gone off, who would you have predicted in that fight?
That was a good fight for both. That was like a throwback fight because two young guys at their prime. You don't see that too often nowadays. Kind of like in the era of Sugar Ray Leonard and them. You don't see that too often. If you got an undefeated record nowadays, it's like I got to keep that. I got to secure that. But back in the day, they used to fight it. Fight them all. So.
It happened with you, though. It was you and Tim Bradley made that happen.
Oh yeah. So it don't matter to me. I'll fight anybody, And that's when I used to look at the older tapes and I used to look at that. I'm like, man, they used to fight everybody. They ain't skip not. I don't care if they hit hard. They had a hard right hand, knockout order. It didn't matter. They fought everybody, and that's kind of like how I am. And that fight would have been like that, But I don't know. That's a difficult fight. That's what happens when you get two, skillful guys in the ring, and you just never know who's going to have that upper hand. That's a tough one to call.
All right. Well, I wish you all the best of luck. I've had the pleasure of interviewing before your last fight that was here at the Home Depot Center. So I wish you the best of luck on your fight on December 13th, and hopefully it's we can have you back on the show again following the fight.
Well, thank you guys for having me, and I'll be back on to talk about my victory.
That's right.
That sounds good.
All right, thanks, Devon.
Thanks. Thank you.